Hare Krishna. We will begin the 17th shloka. So far in this chapter, we have seen Arjuna asked this question: should I do action or shall I get into renunciation? Which is better for me? So Krishna in the first section, from 3rd verse till 9th verse, he described Niṣkāma karma yoga. You perform action. You perform your prescribed action with the mode of detachment as an offering to the Supreme Lord, then you will not incur any bondage. Okay? And in the next section, Krishna gave certain detail that actually I have created all the living entities and gave them the path of sacrifice so that they can prosperously live. Okay? And they should also make an offering to the demigods or me, okay, so that they do not incur any bondage. That's the gist of these two sections. Basically, two can be like together also. So the second section, which is from 10th verse till 16th verse, is a subsection of the main section only. Basically, he emphasized Niṣkāma karma yoga only till now. Now, we also made a point earlier, if you remember, that karma yoga is to be performed by people who are not yet qualified for full renunciation of prescribed duties. Right? So, you have prescribed duties and you perform those prescribed duties and cultivate detachment and cultivate knowledge, and by performing those prescribed duties in that mode, you will gain purification. So once you attain purification, maturity, knowledge and detachment, then you can surpass the stage of performing your prescribed duty, then you are qualified for Jnana Yoga. Okay? Or Sannyasa. But what if a person is already qualified like that? We gave this example. People do not have degrees here. They have to write all assessments. Write open book exam, closed book exam, etc. People who already have degrees, they need not write these exams. But Krishna is presenting a case in this 17th verse till 35th verse, another section. He is presenting a case where a person who already has a degree also writes exams. You understand? You are qualified for Bhakti, you are qualified for Jnana Yoga. Means you already have knowledge, you have detachment, you are purified by performance of prescribed duties already, you have detachment also, but still, to set the right example for others to follow, you perform your prescribed activities. Is it clear? Actually, 3rd chapter is very simple. Okay? So, the first thing is, Arjuna asked this question: action or renunciation? Definitely, renunciation, if it is mature, then it is better than doing your prescribed action. But instead of prematurely renouncing, better you perform action only. Okay? Because you are not qualified for renunciation, better you perform action. That's what he said till now. Now what he is going to say, even if you are qualified for renunciation also, still you perform action. Even if you are qualified for Jnana Yoga, you still perform Karma Yoga just to set right example for others. And I have done it, Krishna says. And Janaka Maharaj has done it. There are so many great souls who have performed their prescribed duties just to set the right example for common people to follow. Although these people themselves are not entitled to do any prescribed duties. They are beyond that stage. They have detachment already. They are mature, they are knowledgeable, they are purified. Okay. So, understood what we are getting into now? So, we are getting into a section where Krishna is recommending Niṣkāma karma yoga for a person who is qualified for Jnana Yoga. Okay? Just to set the right example for others to follow. Right? So, 17th shloka. यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः tasya karyam na vidyate yastu atmaratir eva syat. Now, Krishna is describing the qualities of a self-realized person who has surpassed the stage of performing this Niṣkāma Karma Yoga. Okay? He is a self-realized person. 17th and 18th verses describe the qualities of self-realized person. He says, Yastu Atmaratir. Atmarati means he takes pleasure in himself only. Next, Atmatruptascha Manavaha. Atmatrupta means he is satisfied in the self. He does not need anything beyond himself for his satisfaction. Atmanyevacha Santushtaha. Santushta means fully satiated within himself only. He doesn't need anything else. Means he has no material desires. Someone who has still material desires and attachments and expectations of results of activities, such people should do Karma Yoga. But this person is beyond that. He is Atmatrupta, Atmasantushta, Atmarati. For such a person, tasya karyam na vidyate. Such a person need not perform action. Again, refer back to Arjuna's question. What did he say? Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardhana. My dear Janardhana, you told that this buddhi is better than karma. Why are you entangling me in karma again? Then Krishna said, no, karma is meant for a person who is not yet purified. And all these things are not applicable exactly to Arjuna. He is after all, he is a pure devotee. He is purified soul. He did not purify himself by performing his prescribed duty, but is meant for common people. So, who can just give up action completely? Tasya karyam na vidyate. If a person is atmarati, atmatrupta, atmasantushta. Fine? Only such person can renounce activity. Is it clear? Now Krishna further says, Naivatasya krite naho Naivatasya krite nartho Na krite neha kaschana Nachasya sarva bhuteshu Kaschit arthavyapashrayah. Krishna further says, in the 17th verse he says, this self-realized person is not obliged to perform any prescribed duties. Now he says, Naiva tasya kritena artho. Okay. He has no purpose in performing those activities. No purpose. And if you do something, you should have a purpose behind it. But this person has no such purpose. Means no material desire or expectation or a plan or something in return. Okay, he is not looking for anything. He is already satisfied. Okay. Next, na kriteneha kaschana. Another important point. We will discuss this little later. Na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschit artha vyapashrayah. So this person has no taste for material pleasures, no purpose or gain in performing such actions, and na akritena iha kaschana. Akrita means there is no reason for him not to perform an activity also. There is no reason for him to do an activity, and there is no reason not to do an activity also. He is neutral to all activity. Okay, he is not obliged, he is not attached, he is not forced, and he is not impelled by anything, and he need not restrain himself from doing an activity also. He is totally indifferent to it.
He is not also giving up. He is not giving up also. He is doing his duty.
Krishna doesn't say that. Krishna only says that he need not perform activity. Krishna analyzes his disposition and says that such a person need not perform an activity because he has no reason to do an activity, and he also has no reason not to do an activity. He is totally indifferent to that activity. Okay? Whether he does it or doesn't do it, he has nothing to gain. He has no purpose in doing it, or he has no purpose in not doing it also. He will just do it. Okay? But why he has to do it like that? To set an example for others. Okay? See, no need to depend on any other living beings. Okay, arthavyapashraya. He does not take shelter of anyone else for his maintenance. Oh, he is not doing any activity. Maybe he is depending on someone else who is doing some activity and then maintaining himself. No, not even that. Such a exalted person. No dependence. No dependence on any other living being. No dependence on demigods also. You understand this? Earlier section, Krishna emphasized a lot on demigod, doing sacrifice and pleasing the demigods. Right? Now, he is not dependent on demigods also. This self-realized person. Right? So, he is totally detached from the body and bodily conception. Such a person need not perform an activity. You understand? Who cannot perform an activity? No one can prematurely say, I am beyond this. The standard of such a person who is not obliged to perform an activity is so high. In these two verses you can see. Are you Atma Tripta? Are you Atma Rati? Are you Atma Santushta? Then only you can abstain from your prescribed activity. Otherwise you have to do. Okay, 19th sloka. तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः तस्मात् असक्तः सततं. Therefore, satatam means always perform your activity. Okay? How? Asaktaha. Without getting attached. Tasmat asaktaha satatam. Always do your activity without any attachment. How? Karyam karma samachara. You have to do it just as a matter of duty. Oh, ऐसा करना है क्या? कर लेता हूँ. Why are you doing this? What are you gaining from it? I don't want to gain anything. Okay? Then why don't you stop doing it? That's okay. As a matter of duty, I have to do it, I will just do it. Why should I stop? He'll ask. Why are you doing it? No reason. Why are you stopping it? No reason. Right? So, Krishna is recommending here, you perform your prescribed works in a dutiful manner, just because they are prescribed, just they are on the rule book for you. You do it, but you maintain a mode of asakta, no attachment. Asakto hi acharan karma, by working in such a dutiful manner with detachment, paramapnoti purusha, one can attain param, means liberation. Attain the abode of the Supreme Lord. Okay? So, this can easily be interpreted with bhakti. So, if you perform your prescribed activities without any material expectations in return, one can attain liberation. One can attain Krishna Loka also. Right? So, now, Prabhupada writes in the purport, Param apnoti purushaha. Param could mean liberation, and that Param could be Param Purusha Krishna also. In devotee's context, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna only. Prabhupada writes, the Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees, and for impersonalists, that Param is liberation. Okay? It's up to you. How do you want to interpret that word Param? If you are a devotee, it is Krishna. If one is an impersonalist, it is liberation. It could be impersonal liberation also. That is the perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Lord. What is that? Just to perform activities for Krishna with detachment. To be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment. But to act on behalf of the Supreme Lord is to act without attachment to result. So such kind of activity will take us to Krishna's lotus feet. Okay. So Vedic rituals like prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impious activities that were performed in the field of sense gratification. But action in Krishna consciousness is transcendental to such reactions of good or evil work. So if one is already a devotee, then he is not obliged to all this stuff. Okay. So he is detached. Now Arjuna is wondering, ऐसा भी होता है क्या? You are performing an activity with absolutely no attachment towards results. Who will do like this? Is there any person who can do like this? He is wondering. Then Krishna noticing the mind of Arjuna, he starts giving an example. Okay? So 20th verse. कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः. There are so many people who attain perfection. Samsiddhi means perfection. By performing their prescribed duties. Okay? See, this karmanaiva hi samsiddham, just by performing prescribed duties, some people attain perfection. Who are they? Janakadayaha. Great Rajarshis like Janaka Maharaj. Loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. So, loka sangraham. Why did they do like that? Because they want to set example for common people also. Loka sangraham evapi. For the sake of common people, they themselves performed prescribed duties and they attained perfection. Okay. They set an example also for others to follow, teaching people. So, better you also perform your prescribed duty. Follow the footsteps of Janaka. Arjuna, if you are not qualified for Jnana Yoga renunciation, you should definitely perform your prescribed duty. But even if you claim that you are qualified for renunciation and you have so much of detachment and fully purified, still you should perform prescribed duty. Is Janaka Maharaj not purified? He is a pure soul. But still he performed prescribed duty for common people to follow. You are a Kshatriya, your prescribed duty is fighting. If you fight, other Kshatriyas also will follow your example and then religiously fight. And if they die in that religious battle, they may attain the higher planets also. But if you give up your prescribed duty of fighting, right, although you are qualified for it, people may think that you are running away out of fear, etc., etc. Okay, set a right example. Now Prabhupada writes in the purport that Lord Ramachandra is there. Janaka Maharaj was the father of Sita and the father-in-law of Lord Ram. Being a great devotee of Lord, he was transcendentally situated. But because he was the king of Mithila, he had to teach his subjects how to perform prescribed duties. So, Prabhupada writes, Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord's eternal friend, had no need to fight in the battle, but they fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. You are not achieving a good result by presenting logic and reasoning and good arguments. All that Krishna did in front of Duryodhana. But Duryodhana said, I will not give you anything. Right? Then, fine. Let's meet in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He said like that. So that's necessary. Next. So, you do not have a purpose behind performing your prescribed duties, but you just want to teach people in general. That's a total selfless work. It's like teacher already know ABCD. Okay, the teacher knows A, B, C, D, but small children are sitting there in the nursery classroom, and the teacher will say, "You should write A like this on the board," and then child is unable to follow. Then the teacher will go to the child and catch the small hand of the child and make the child write A like this, A. She will also utter and she will also write. So she need not, but just to teach these people, she is doing it like that. 21st sloka. Yadyadacharati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanuvartate yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Shreshta means the best person or a popular person or charismatic person or a great person in the society. There may be a big community, but there is only one president in that community. Why? He is considered to be the best from different perspectives. So, when such a Shreshta person performs an activity, common people tend to follow. Tattadeve etaro janaha. Sayat pramanam kurute. Whatever standards are the examples that he sets. So, they will become a standard for other people. to follow. Lokas tad anuvartate. Such exemplary activities are followed by people in general. Fine. Arjuna, you are a very responsible, charismatic, popular, famous fighter. But if you don't fight in a battlefield like this, how will other people fight? So you should set the right example for people to follow. Fine. So a leader has to teach the public by his own personal, practical behavior. It's the responsibility of leaders to teach people by personally following. A leader cannot teach people to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Okay? So, and his teaching should be based on scriptures also. He cannot say, okay, I'll teach something else. I'll teach them not to fight in the battlefield. Arjuna may say, no. You can't teach anything there whimsically according to your mentality. You have to teach what is prescribed in the scriptures. Okay? So, a leader who acts whimsically deriding the scriptures is not a leader. One has to reject such kind of leaders. That's what Krishna says. So he emphasized the leader's responsibility. That's what is an acharya. Prabhupada writes here. 22nd shloka. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani name partha asti kartavyam. Oh Partha, oh Arjuna, I have no kartavya. Kartavya means I don't have any prescribed duty to follow. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is now describing himself as a person who is beyond the protocols, rules and regulations, do's and don'ts of this material realm. I have nothing to do. Name parthasi kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Okay, you may not have any kartavya in this place because you are a guest. When you go to your home, you may have a kartavya. No, in all the three worlds, in the entire universe, no one can tell me that I have to do something. I can do if I want. It's my ichha. But no one can dictate me. There is nothing prescribed. In the Vedas it is mentioned. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has these duties. It's only mentioned that he will do like this, he will do like that. Nowhere it's mentioned he is obliged to do. He is duty bound to do like this. He may consider it his duty to protect his devotees. That's up to his magnanimity, his compassion, his love for his devotees. But he is not obliged to do any activity. Name parthasi kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Okay. Next is nana vaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. Still I also perform in activities. And he also says, very interestingly, na anavaptam. Okay, anavaptam means wanted. So it's not that I'm in want of something. Okay. And avaptavyam, it's not that I have to gain something. If you want something, you have to work to get it. Right? I'm not endeavoring to get anything. And I'm not in want of anything. He is real Atma Tripta, Atma Samtushta and Atmarati. He is Atmakam, Aptakam, Atmaram. So, but still, I am engaged in so many activities. Varta evacha karmani. I do so many karmas. Karma means activities here. I engage in prescribed duties. Because Krishna was playing the role of a Vaishya in Vrindavan. So he was herding cows and calves. And Krishna was playing the role of a Kshatriya in Mathura and Dwaraka. There also he was doing so many administrative activities and fighting with other Kshatriyas. So, and he took up the role of a householder as husband of so many wives and father of so many children. So he is doing his household duties also perfectly. So he is setting proper example. He is getting up early in the morning. Fine. So, Tamishwarana paramam maheshwaram tam devatana paramam cha daivatam patim patina paramam parat. So basically 2 verses Prabhupada quotes to describe that Krishna is beyond any such material obligations. He is the supreme cause of all causes. nothing can cause him to work. Okay, you can go through them. So although Krishna is above all rules and regulations of revealed scriptures, he does not do anything that violates the scriptures. Fine. So he himself will follow to set an example for others. Next, 23 and 24 verses, Krishna describes if he does not perform some prescribed duties according to whatever role he is playing currently in an incarnation. So what will happen? What will be the repercussions? Because earlier Krishna said, common people will follow great people. Okay. Now Krishna gave example of great people. Janaka Maharaj did, and I am also doing. And if great people do not follow certain prescribed duties or certain codes of conduct, what will happen to common people? That's what he says. So 23rd shloka. Yadi yaham न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यतन्द्रितः मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः यदि हि अहं न वर्तेयं, if I do not follow the prescribed duties, jatu karmani atandritaha. Okay. So, if I do not follow this, karmani is prescribed duties, atandritaha means with great care if I don't follow, then what will happen? Krishna says, Mama vartma anuvartante manushyaha partha sarvadha. Everybody will follow me only. Okay. So, Krishna is not doing this, I will also not do this. That's what they will say. I don't want that to happen. That's why I am doing all this. Just to set an example for them. Krishna further says, Utsideyur ime loka nakuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam ima prajaha. If I do not perform my prescribed duties, all these worlds will be put into ruination. Okay? He said, Utsideyur. Utsideyur means everything will be destroyed. What will be destroyed? Ime loka, all these universes, all these worlds. Na kuryam karma chet aham. If I do not perform the prescribed duties, the worlds will be put into ruination. They will get a very bad example. Sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam imah prajaha. So that would destroy the peace of living beings, and there will also be varna sankara, unwanted population. Okay. So when people do not align themselves with scriptural codes, people will be impelled to do some activity based on their sensual urges. Only two things can guide you. Number one, your own sense gratificatory desires. Number two, some standard protocols prescribed in the scriptures or authorities. So you have to abide by the rules and regulations set by a superior authority. Or you follow your instincts like animals. Right? So if you are not aligning yourself with certain protocols prescribed in the scriptures, any authority, but the best authority is scriptural authority. Okay. If one is not aligning there, then one will just follow whimsical things. So everybody aligns somewhere to some authority, whether it is scriptural authority or some managerial authority or some authority. And a part of that person also follows the instincts, okay, the sense gratificatory desires or whatever gives that person some kind of enjoyment that he need not be told. Okay. So if one predominantly operates on this only, okay, this is gratifying my senses, let me just do this only. Scriptures, I have nothing to do with them. Then the whole world will be put into ruination, and the greatest urge for enjoyment lies in sex pleasure. So if Krishna does not follow scriptural procedures, right, scriptural prescriptions, and people will say, "Arey, he is not following anyways. I can do anything I want." And the best thing that a person can do to get maximum sense gratification is sex pleasure, through which unwanted progeny will generate. There are so many, you can give list 100, but sex is most prominent thing that will put people into ruination. So, why is it so? Krishna will describe in the last section of this chapter. The last section of this chapter will exclusively describe about lust. Okay? And that uncontrolled material lust, which is not streamlined by scriptural injunctions, will cause unwanted progeny. Fine? So, the lawmaker is beyond the law. That is very clear. Krishna is the lawmaker. Krishna is the compiler of Vedanta. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo Vedanta krit Veda videva chaham. So Krishna says, I am the compiler of Vedanta. I am the knower of Vedanta. By studying all Vedas, I am to be known. But I am following Vedas. Why don't you follow? You see, the object of Vedas, the compiler of Vedas, the knower of the Vedas, such a person is following the Vedic instructions. What's your problem? That's what Krishna says. So there is a difference between following and imitating. There are certain activities that Krishna does you cannot follow. Prabhupada writes, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. Okay. Yadyajacharya shrishtaha tattadevetaro janaha. Okay, Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. I will also go and lift some hill which is next. You will break your back. Okay. So that you need not follow. Krishna's activities that resemble human beings, that you follow. Krishna's superhuman activities you cannot follow. Krishna's human activities only you can follow. Okay. Yan martya leelau paikam swayoga. Krishna does martya leela. Martya means one who is entitled to die. That's a human being. That refers to human being. So martya leela means Krishna performs activities as a human being. But Krishna sometimes performs activities that are superhuman also. Atimartyani, in the first canto you have seen. Gudaha kapata manushaha. Atimartyani bhagavan. Atimartya means superhuman. That you cannot follow. Fine? So there is a difference between following and imitating. So certain unconventional activities, even though Krishna does it, you cannot do it. He can dance with 16,000 girls or 1 billion gopis or whatever. But can you do it? No, I will also do it. I want to do it. At least not 16,000, at least 16 girls I will dance. But the condition is you have to expand yourself into 16 forms and then dance. That I don't know. Then you don't do it. Okay. So point is, people selectively follow certain activities of great personalities or even God, and they selectively criticize. Okay, they criticize Ras Leela, but what about Krishna who has given so much sari to Draupadi? What about that? Okay, so without having a sufficient understanding, which is scripture-based understanding and understanding based on Acharya's explanations, if one whimsically evaluates the Supreme Lord's Leelas with one's own brain substance, one will end up offending the Lord. Okay. So, anyways, that's a bigger subject matter. So far in this section, we have seen that Krishna said a self-realized person need not work. Still, he works. Why? To set a right example for other people to follow. That's what he said in 17, 18 and 19 verses. So from the 20th verse till 24th verse, he said that there are examples like myself and Janaka Maharaj who perform prescribed duties to set example for common people, okay, to follow. And if we don't follow like that, other people will be misguided, the whole world will be put into ruination, and there could be unwanted progeny also. Fine. Now, from the 25th verse onwards, Krishna distinguishes between performing work with attachment and with detachment. Krishna describes an attached worker and a detached worker, or a karma kandi and a karma yogi. Karma kandi performs a sakama karma. He performs activities with expectation of results so that he can enjoy them. Such a person is called attached worker or sakama karmi or a karma kandi. And there are people who perform their prescribed duties with detachment and knowledge and maturity without any material desires. And for the sake of Supreme, such people are called detached workers or karma yogis. Okay? So a karma yogi in the initial stages may not have sufficient detachment and knowledge, but if karma yogi becomes very mature by practice of karma yoga, he will develop all that. Okay? Let's see. 25th shloka. In the 24th purport, Prabhupada writes another example. Lord Shiva drank poison. You can't drink poison. So, artificially imitating certain activities of people, Prabhupada said here. 25th shloka. Saktaha karman avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvams tatha saktah chikirshur loka sangraham. So, saktaha karmani avidvamso. Vidvamsa means a learned person, an intelligent person, a knowledgeable person. A gnani is vidvamsa. Avidvamsa means opposite, an ignorant person. Clear? Saktam karmani avidvamso. An avidvamsa or an ignorant person, he performs activities sakta with attachment to results. Fine? So saktaha karmani avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvams tatha asaktaha chikirshur loka sangraham. But for an asakta, but for a vidvamsa, a detached worker, he performs also actions with detachment so that other people can follow them, to set the right example. That's what he said. Chikirshur loka sangraham. To teach common people. Is it clear? So this one verse is describing how an attached worker works and how a detached worker works. An attached worker works for the sake of sense gratification with attachment to results. A detached worker works with detachment and to set an example for common people to follow. Okay? So now Krishna further elaborates all this. 26th. Na buddhi vedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yuktah samacharan na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sangraham. So this 26th verse and 29th verse, which is coming very soon. These two verses have a similar theme. Okay, what is that? Na buddhi bhedam janaye. There are some people who have a different intelligence. Buddhi bhedam are ignorant people. So people who are in knowledge do not unnecessarily disturb such people. You are not ready to do any detached work. So why should I force you? That's what these intelligent people will think. So, bewildered by the modes of material nature, see, ajnanam karma sanginam means people are attached to their fruitive results. So, joshayet sarva karmani, they perform all kinds of activities. Okay, the ignorant people, and they become attached to results also. But the wise people do not disturb them, do not unsettle them. Okay. So, rather, what do? They personally do the prescribed duties and they set an example. Now, you tell them, you should lift the table like this. Lift it like this with two hands and then keep it there. Okay. So, other person may not be able to follow it. Two hands like this, where should I catch? There is no handle there. So, like that he will have 100 questions in the mind. But if you go there and you lift it the way you want him to lift it and then put it there, even without you telling also he may see and one day he will do it. Okay. So, intelligent people, if they see that ignorant people are just innocent, they will go and teach them directly. But if they see that these ignorant people are arrogant also, they are not in a position to listen to us, they are not willing to listen to us, they don't disturb them. They allow them to continue and they inspire them from a distance by they themselves following it properly. Okay? So, now, although Krishna said like this, but our glorious acharyas have more compassionate outlook of these things. Okay. Krishna conscious preacher, he wants to disturb even the ignorant people also. Okay. So, for a ninth offense is there. If you should not distribute holy name to people who are very envious and all that. So, but still, a devotee tries to find out ways and means by which even such people also may get inspired. To what degree you will do it depends on your own bandwidth and your own personal preference, by the way. And what method will work will also depend on time, place, circumstances and people. But devotees, because of their compassionate hearts, they cannot afford to see an ignorant person struggling without Krishna consciousness. They want to give them Krishna consciousness, somehow or the other. So, oh, he's ignorant, let me not unsettle him. I'll just look in this direction, I will go somewhere else. That may be practical, but very compassionate devotees, they also find some ways and means, okay, how I can catch this person also. They keep thinking like this. So one day they will approach him in a certain way and then they will influence such people also. Okay. So, ignorant people cannot appreciate the activities in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Krishna advises not to disturb them, simply to waste valuable time. However, devotees understand Lord's purpose. Ultimately, Krishna will be happy if you somehow or the other inspire such people also. Okay? They approach ignorant men also and try to engage them in Krishna consciousness. Somebody may be very arrogant. You are doing book distribution and then that person is not willing to take. Then one way is you may chastise them and then come back. Second way is you may avoid them and then go somewhere else. Another way is, oh, he's not taking the book. Let me just give him some prasad. You give him some prasad. And then he may open up a little bit. And then you try to say something. And even if he doesn't say anything also, even if he doesn't reciprocate with you also, if he still maintains the same mood also, at least he took some prasad. That will be purifying him a little bit. So like that, somehow or the other, devotees try to instill some Krishna consciousness even in ignorant people, and they try to unsettle them in that way. But Krishna said that, okay, don't disturb them so much. They are not ready for it yet. You continue. Fine. And another perspective given by Acharyas, especially Visvanath Chakravarti Thakur here is, Jnana depends on the purity of heart. And purity of heart depends on acting without desires. Means if you perform your prescribed duty without any material expectations, that will purify your heart. And in such a pure heart, you will develop knowledge, jnana. So jnana is dependent on purity of heart in one sense. But bhakti is not dependent on purity of heart also. Fine? Mrigari, how impure his heart was in one sense when he was killing animals, okay, half dead. And it is his greatest pleasure to enjoy seeing the pain of a half-dead animal, rabbit or hog or a deer. When he is not completely killing them, and the rabbit is crying out of intense pain, and this fellow is laughing. He is rejoicing within. Even such people also could be influenced by bhakti. When a pure devotee like Narada Muni goes there. When Narada Muni went and asked Mrigari, just approached Mrigari got irritated. So he was so irritated. Narada Muni, why did you come here? Oh, Narada Muni, he doesn't know the name. Oh, Sadhu, Maharaj, why did you come this side? Just by seeing you, all my animals started running away. Why did you come this side? Then Narada Muni, and he actually, Mrigari wanted to use very abusive language and criticize and chastise Narada Muni. But because of Narada Muni's strong spiritual presence there, no abusive words came out of his mouth. He just questioned like this, why did you come this side? It's like that. For such a cruel hunter, just to stop at this one word is a big thing. But Narada Muni's presence made him so. And Narada Muni slowly tricked him and then made him chant Hare Krishna. And he is not even, he's so hesitant even to step on some ants also. He was so careful there. Okay. So, bhakti does not depend on purity of heart. So, devotees approach people in general and then try to give them Krishna consciousness somehow or the other. So, although the verse itself says, Krishna said it in 26th verse also, Krishna said it in 29th verse also, don't unsettle the people in general. They are too ignorant, they cannot handle it. Fine? Next, 27th shloka. प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहम् इति मन्यते. Earlier in the 26th verse, Krishna said about people in general who are too ignorant. How ignorant are they? Krishna describes further in this verse. What is the nature of their ignorance? So he thinks that he is a doer. That is the ignorance that they are having. An ignorant person is specifically characterized by his doership mentality. I am the doer of everything. That's what he thinks. Prakritehi kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashaha. Although all the activities are actually being carried out by the three modes of material nature, Gunaihi karmani sarvashaha. Still, ahankara vimudhatma, because of this fellow's bewilderment, because of false ego, karta aham iti manyate. He considers himself to be the doer. I am the karta. He thinks like that. That is the specific characteristic of his ignorance, doership mentality. So, the free will and responsibility of a jiva will never disappear. However, the jiva's doership is made possible by the body, senses and life force and by the Paramatma, who is the activator of all things. So, now we understand, in this shloka, Krishna said that Prakritehi kriyamanani, everything is done by Prakriti, but Prakriti is not the only doer. Even jiva also is a doer. But what is his ignorance? If he is thinking he is the doer, what's wrong? Jiva is also one of the doers. Point is, karta aham, I am the only doer. He is doer because he is desiring to do. He is the doer in the capacity of a desirer. But the ultimate doer is Supreme Lord because he sanctions it. And there is another doer, that is Prakriti, who facilitates it. For any act to happen, there should be a person who desires, there should be another factor who sanctions, there should be another factor who facilitates. Just by the desire, everything will not happen. So if you are doing an activity, you are desiring to do, but the ingredients for you to do that activity are supplied by Prakriti. And the permission for you to do that activity is given by the Supreme Lord and his representatives. So you are not the only doer, but you think, I am the only doer and you want to credit for everything that you do. That is ignorance. Fine. So now you may do an activity, and that could be a material activity or a spiritual activity. If you are doing a material activity, that means you are misusing the God-given independence or free will. Because free will is always there. One has to responsibly utilize that free will to perform spiritual activities. But if someone irresponsibly utilizes it to perform material activities, Krishna will do the needful. Okay. So, that is about this verse, Prakritehi kriyamanani verse. Next, 28th shloka. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoh guna guneshu vartanta
गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्त
iti matva na sajjate.
इति मत्वा न सज्जते.
So tattvavittu mahabaho. Tattvavit. Tattva means truth. Tattvavit means one who knows the truth properly. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoh. So a person who is in knowledge, a person who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, that is Paramatatva, Paratattva, absolute truth, understands that he is separate from the senses and the sense objects. You see? Gunakarma vibhagayoh guna guneshu vartanta. If you understand that I am different from the senses and the sense objects, I am separately situated as a part and parcel of Krishna and whatever, then he knows the differences between working in devotion and working in fruitive results. So if he identifies himself as a spirit soul separate from these material senses and sense objects, he tries to act on a spiritual platform. But if a person identifies himself with the material senses and sense objects, then he does material work, and because of that, he will be entangled in that work also. There will be bondage. That's what he says. Iti matva na sajjate. If you understand yourself to be different from senses and sense objects, you will not be bound. Otherwise, you will be bound. Fine? So, the knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. Okay? So, further Prabhupada says, according to Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three stages, namely Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, he is the real knower. He is called Tattvavit. 29th verse. Prakritir sammudhaha sajjante gunakarmasu tana kritsna vido mandhan kritsna vinna vichalayet. Again, Krishna brings up this. Bewildered by the modes of nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. Okay? But the wise should not unsettle them. Although these duties are inferior due to the performance lack of knowledge. Fine? A person is doing inferior duties because of ignorance and material attachment. Still, wise people should not go and unsettle them. Whatever Krishna said in 26th verse, he repeated in 29th verse again. Fine? But we also discussed that devotees even try to approach such people also and try to give them Krishna consciousness, okay, as much as possible. And Prabhupada also mentions about the nature of Kali Yuga people, Manda, Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya, etc. Men who are ignorant cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness, and therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them because it simply wastes time. But the devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord because they understand the purpose of the Lord. The Lord says, oh, you devotees, don't disturb them, they are ignorant people, don't waste your time. But Lord wants, even these ignorant people also should become devotees. Devotees understand this. Oh, Krishna wants them. So, we should do something to bring them to Krishna's lotus feet. If it wastes your time, it's okay, let's spend some time and energy to bring in them to Krishna consciousness. That's what is the mode of a devotee. Very beautiful attitude of a devotee. So that completes this section of an attached worker and detached worker. Essentially, attached worker performs activities with the mentality of enjoying the results, but a detached worker performs activities in a mode of detachment. Fine? As an offering to Krishna, to set an example for others. These are his motives in performing work, but he himself has nothing to gain from that work. So such a person is called karma yogi.